This short video is just an overview of how to change the serpentine drive belt on an engine and how to inspect it for damage. So here's a typical drive belt system on this engine. This is a 1995 3.8 liter V6 out of a Pontiac Bonneville, and it has a supercharger. So it actually has two serpentine belts on here rather than the typical just one you would find on most vehicles. There's an inner belt and an outer belt. So as you can see, there's many pulleys on here. So before we take this belt off, you're going to draw a picture like this showing the inside belt and the outside belt differentiated so I know which one is which on your picture. And if I assign you one of the shop vehicles, you're going to do the same for that. That is going to be harder because where this one is all wide open and I have complete access to it, let's go to this vehicle. It's a little more contained. You can get in there okay, it's not bad. But some vehicles, like the Jeep over here, are much harder. Like all you can see is this part of the belt right there. You can't see any of it back in there, but it goes way back in there, okay? So, depending on the vehicle you have, it can be either easy or hard to do this job. Now, how do we actually get the belt off? That's actually not a hard part, but a lot of people make some serious errors which does a lot of damage. We have what are called automatic tensioners. This is one here. So the belt goes around here. Inside here is a big spring that's keeping tension on this belt right now. We are not going to take any bolts or nuts off. We are not going to remove any parts. All we are going to do is take away the tension to get the belt off. So I'm going to do the outer one here. I already got my drawing done, so I'm going to do this one. So I would need the proper size socket with a ratchet for this case. I can do it with this. Now, there is an actual tool with different adapters, like little sockets and little adapters that go in here, which is what you would need if you're doing something like this, so you can actually get in there, because you're not going to get your hands way down in there on some of these engines to actually take the tension off, like this one. So you would use a tool like this in that case. And this is hanging up in the main tool cupboard. But for the one I'm doing here, I can just use a ratchet and a socket. So I'm going to put the camera there. That's good there. Okay, so here is the tensioner for the outer belt. I'm not going to take this bolt out. I am only going to put this on here and turn it to bring it down, and look, it's made it loose. So the key here is you bring the tension like this to bring it down, and then you're just going to take it off. There you go. Here's our belt. Uh-oh, you know what? We might have a hard time getting this out of here because the engine weight is actually resting on an engine mount that is not in its proper place right now. So I'm going to have to fix that so we can actually get this belt off. But this belt is in great shape. There are no cracks in the ribs. The edges of the belt are not frayed. Fraying is, you can just kind of see a little bit of fraying there, but not much. It's basically where it starts tearing away at the edge of the belt. What causes that is if you got a bad spot on the edge of the pulley and it keeps digging into the belt time and time again until finally you get a rough edge. Alright, that's fraying. Sometimes you also get cracks on the outside, the non-ribbed portion of the belt. Alright, in this case it's in good shape. So that's what you check your belt on your vehicle for. You're going to show it to me. Tell me about the type of wear it has, and then you're going to put it back on just using the opposite method, where I'm going to put this here like this. This is where the picture comes in very handy, because you have your picture so you know which route it took. So always start at this is the crankshaft pulley, always start there. Alright? Work from the hardest to the easiest. Now unfortunately I wasn't able to take that belt off, was I? But okay, so that's going to come around there. That's going to come around there. Okay, rib on rib, rib on rib. See, this is going to go up here, but because the tension's back on here, I can't bring that up there yet, can I? So I have to make sure this is in place. Then what I'm going to do, this is where you got to be careful. You do not want to get your fingers trapped between the pulley and the belt. So please be careful when you're doing this. Alright? So I'm going to go the other way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh-oh. Seized in there. Alright. Oh my goodness. Alright. It's not been off in a long time. I think I got a little bit of work to do on this one. There we go. Okay. That's the other thing to keep in mind. Me doing it like this doesn't give me much leverage. Where putting it over here, so much easier. Okay, so it's all about what position you put your tool on to get the maximum leverage to actually allow you to get some looseness in the belt. Alright, so I got that up here. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.